Hey guys, what is going on? iRockTHS here, back again with the next episode of our Out of the Park tutorial series. As you can see, I have upgraded to Out of the Park 20. I do feel that there are very few differences between the two games. A few more features that you won't find in Out of the Park 19 that you have in Out of the Park 20. But if you have an Out of the Park 20, it's gonna be nicer to see it in Out of the Park 20. I think the interface is darker, maybe a little bit nicer. And I think that there are some features that I really prefer to play with personally. I think 20 so far. I've really liked what I've played so far, but I haven't gotten all that much into it. That's another reason I moved over to 20 really quickly. So go ahead and jump in here. I didn't go anywhere after the last episode. I just preloaded it into the MLB off season. And first thing we want to do, we look here, we have the Rule 5 draft coming up. So we are definitely going to get to the Rule 5 draft today. There's not going to be too much that's going to happen. There's free agency is gonna happen. So I'll actually just do free agency first, and if I get to the Rule 5 draft, then we get there. If not, we can always do that in the next episode. So we need to get to free agency filings. So free agency filings is the day every major league free agent files for free agency. So now every player is available to sign. So just to get an example, just to see how much he wants, $287 million. It's not that bad. How bad of a season did he have? He had a really good season. I wonder why his demand's so much lower. And there's also some international free agents. So this is something to keep an eye on. See if any of these guys are any good. No. Okay. Not really. Could be decent. Looks like he'd be an okay bat, maybe. Yeah, probably an okay bat would be a really good, could turn into something okay. Maybe a utility player at some point. Probably better than that 35, but nothing. Ooh. Is he really already signed? He's already signed? That's not okay. I'm not okay with that. So maybe he wasn't actually a free agent, but I would have definitely gone for that. So, nothing here other than maybe Barella interests me. So as you can see, all the free agents have filed. Here's just a list of players who have filed for free agency. This isn't the order that are the best players. Obviously, you can see Bryce Harper is probably the best one on this list. And he's not at the top. Let's go to, I think he ended the season on the Orioles. See if Machado signed an extension. Contract. Yeah, it looks like he signed an extension. So it looks like he's already signed an extension, so that's odd. So let's go ahead and just jump into the free agent area. Just go in here, hit free agents. Gonna go ahead, sort by potential for right now. Clear filter. I haven't set up my prospect filter yet. I'll need to do that at some point. But not really during the off season. So as you can see, there's some really good pitchers available. Okay, Clayton Kershaw did elect to be a free agent, and I have a lot of money to spend. So you can see I have $34 million I can spend this off season, just on this season. So that's not a terrible contract. I'm not just gonna jump into that. Because obviously I don't just want to give him like what he wants there. I'm also going to take a look around. Keuchel is also a free agent. He wants even more. He's almost certainly not worth it. Let's see, what are his stats this year? He had a pretty good season, much better season than he had in real life. Last strikeouts. He would not be a bad signing. How old is he? He's 30. And Clayton Kershaw is also 30. So, I definitely think I want to go out and get an ace-type pitcher, if one of those is available. So, let's sort by starters. Corbin, probably not an ace-type pitcher. Would not be opposed to bringing him in here. He's got decent strikeout per 9, really good home run numbers and walks per 9 numbers. He's a ground ball pitcher, so he's less likely to get absolutely smashed in Globe Life. So that's not a terrible contract. Let's do 7. Let's just lop $1 million off everything. Let's throw team option for $12 million buyout. So, and that is, where's my funds? So, let's see. I don't want to promise him a starting role because then I might have to give him one of those, or it might be a problem down the line if he's not doing very well. So this here is a $45 million deal. Let's change to a $3 million buyout because this is $36 million guaranteed. Is the way to look at this. It's $36 million guaranteed, up to $45 million. Let's throw innings bonus, 200 innings, get another 500K, MVP, Cy Young Award, 250K. No, let's switch those. These two. So let's ask for his response. Yep. So I said I didn't want to jump right into it, but I do think that that's a pretty good deal for him, and he looks like he would fit pretty well in the park. So he is 29, so there's a little bit of a risk giving him a contract that long. But if we want to get a top end pitcher, we're not going to get a top end pitcher without committing. So he may not be a top end pitcher, but we want to get you have to pay the price in free agency. And unfortunately, we're at the point where we probably need to pay the price. So what does he want? 0.3 million. So he pitched 5 innings and then had Tommy John surgery. Looks like he was doing okay. Strikeouts could come along a little bit. I may come back and offer him a contract later. Depends on how the rest of this free agency goes. So let's switch back to the Rangers. Go to the pitching staff. So we've obviously got 5 starters here already. One of these guys can move to the bullpen. There's nothing saying they all have to make the roster next year. Herrera still has an option left. Perez did not have a great year when he was here, so although he got hurt, so he didn't really get a chance. He only pitched 3 games before he got hurt. So I need to remove him from a role or a forced role. So yeah, I kind of want to see how we can what happens with Corbin before we go any further. The lineup, I would be okay with going into the next year with Cameron Rupp as my catcher. But I do want to see, I'm just looking here because it says he's the emergency catcher. Okay, he apparently used to catch. So, fielding stats, all those combined. Must not have his fielding stats from before. Okay. So let's see. Let's get back to free agents. Well, let's see if we need anything else. So, we don't need outfielders. We've got plenty of outfielders. Gallo, Odor, Calhoun are going to have to find a place to play. We're going to have to find a place to play all of them, along with Guzman, who had a pretty good year. So, really, outside of catcher, I don't think I need to do too much to this core. Joseph can... Well, I might want a middle infielder, utility player, to play behind these three. But I may have one. I haven't been in the game since the last video, because I've had a lot of things going on. So, Drew Robinson, potentially see a little bit of action if we needed to. Bank stats, expanded. He's been at AAA for a long time. He's had his best full year there this year, so he'd be an option. Ibanez would be a good option. Eliezer Alvarez would be a good option. So we've got options there. So minor leagues. Let's take a look at the catching position, because this is really kind of the thing we need to, we have it looks like we have very little catching depth. So I don't know if this game is going to handle minor league deals as well for free agents. I've never seen it handle them as well. So let's go to all catchers and sort by attention. Yep. So Grandal and Ramos. So Ramos is, of these guys, is probably my preferred. Grandal actually looks like he might be decent out of the park. Ramos, I think, is pretty good option. Grandal is a switch hitter, so he's gonna hit from the left side. He's got home run power. He might be the player out for contract, but he wants $114 million at age 30 over 8 years. I don't feel like signing a catcher to that, so I'm gonna not talk that. Okay, so he is not interested in playing for our manager. So that is something I'm glad that we encountered. I've only seen this once before, and it was with Kevin Cash. So, he is an easygoing manager, and let's see what Ramos's personality is. He says he's high adaptability. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how that works, but yeah, he doesn't want to play for Jeff Bannister. Last time that happened, it was Brian Cash was the pitcher I had, or the manager I had. So that's why I might keep saying Kevin Cash. I might just confuse all the names together. So this is a free agent from Venezuela. So he's got a pretty potentially good future. Only a rookie league kind of player. I'm going to offer him a minor league contract. So that's one of the things about sorting by potential and not being able to sort by overall. You are going to see players like this in there that probably don't belong in this. Like, I'm not looking for him to be on the team. He's not going to be on the team next year, obviously. But, I'll give him a minor league contract, see what he can do. So, so this is, I think, one of the free agents that came over. So, he's high adaptability and work ethic, home run over contact. He's a righty. Got a decent batted ball profile. Does he have a spray chart? I don't think he will because he has no stats. Yeah, he has no stats. See what he wants. He has 4.5 million. For 4 years. At 29, that's not terrible. But I'm not giving him 4.5 million a year because I'm not giving him what he's asking for. Let's see. So let's make this a team option for $6.5 million. So that's a pretty good deal. I just want to check the numbers on this. So it's slightly more than he was wanting, but it gives us a team option, which means we're not committed to him for this last year. So that's pretty much what we really need to. I don't have any posting on this in this league. So that's really those are the positions we need to address. Obviously, adding someone like Britton or Miller to the back end of the bullpen would be pretty good for us. But I don't know if we need to do that necessarily. Familia would probably be a better option because he's gonna be a little bit cheaper with very similar production, but Soria, I think he's a fly ball. No, he's a ground ball pitcher now. Okay. Potentially. Let's get through the off. Let's go a little bit further in the off season. Let's see. We have until. I check my mail really quickly. So we have until. I think we have until the end of the season, or until the winter meetings begin or end to update our ticket prices for next year. So let's go to our team home screen. Let's go to our front office. So from here, you can change the ticket prices in the off season. You can't change them during the season unless you're playing in commissioner mode. Now let's remember, one of our goals is to increase our attendance and increase our profit. So I kind of mentioned this last time. There's 2 ways to increase your attendance. Lower your ticket prices and have a really good team. We have a fairly good team. Went 85 and 77. I think it's gonna hopefully be better next year. But we're also pretty good on the increased profit. We've got a little bit of cushion there. So let's push a little bit closer to that. I won't let me look in there. I'm going to drop ticket prices by 25 cents. Now remember to hit enter after making that change. Like everything in Out of the Park, it won't remember it unless you do that. And then we also have our scouting budget and our development budget that we can mess with as well. So since we want to keep that profit coming in, I kind of do want to bump up the development budget because I want to keep developing our players, but I'm going to leave that be for now. So let's take a look at any upcoming free agents. So after the season, we have Cole Hamels, Hector Rondon, and Eliezer Alvarez, who will be free agents after the season currently. So that is the one good thing about the Rangers so far is they have all these players under that are young, and a lot of them are under contract. There's no arbitration I have to worry about with them. We just signed Mazzara, and we just bought out all of his arbitration years. So that's we're not gonna have to worry about that with him again. And it was a fairly good deal. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'll go check again. So Nomar Mazara. So it is, yes, 103 million over 7 years. He's 23 years old, so that takes him to year 30 till when he's 30. He has a player opt out too. That's a little concerning for me because he might take that. But we have so many good players that we may not be, maybe like Adrian Beltre, where we're not too concerned if he opts out of the contract. We have the players to replace him. So I think that's everything we need to do right now. We just want to keep simulating until we get closer to the Rule 5 draft. So yesterday, we have a message, but I'm guessing this isn't anything. Nope. So nothing's going on. I'm going to simulate to the end of December, or the end of November. Trade proposal from Milwaukee. Send us Keon Broxton for Tommy Joseph. Not terrible. Sergio Armas. Let's see. Stats. Betting stats. So last year he played most of the year MLB. Pretty good BABIP. Decent ISO. Strikeout rate was really high, but it did come down a little bit from the year before. His walk rate came down a lot, though. Oh, that's not a simulated year. So, his strikeout rate's not going to come down that much. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna decline it, but yeah, I'll let it I'll let it sit there and think about it a little bit. I don't know how he doesn't have a position rating at all. I don't see him doing much. No, he's on this team. I don't know why. Just to clear it. Yeah, let's get to the end of trade proposal from Tampa Bay. Okay. Let's see. Malik Smith. That's a pretty decent player for Kella and Ortega. That's a hard no. If you're going to ask for two players that my scout says are better that have a higher potential than your one player, and your one player is an established major leaguer, I'm just not going to even start. There's no reason to even start in that conversation. Like, we're never going to get to a point where, we agree, unless maybe I like that player enough to give, to really, negotiate with something else. So Harper talking Diamondbacks. That's a huge drop from where he was at just like 5 days ago. But yeah, his price is coming down. So okay, Kershaw already signed. Murphy signed. So it looks like we may need to push a little harder to get Corbin if he's not happy. Let's see, free agents. So you can see down here, you can come over to your pending offers, reaction pending. So he hasn't decided whether he favors it or not yet. Neither of them have. So after 8 days, it's a long time. So, but I do want to take a break from that really quickly. I do want to discuss the Rule 5 draft because I do want to go ahead and, at this point, add the players to my 40-man roster that I need to, and do some other adjustments to my 40-man roster as needed. As you can see, my 40-man roster has 33 players, so I can add a few players to it to protect them from the Rule 5 draft. So anyone with this #, not hashtag, #, next to their name is eligible to be drafted in the Rule 5 draft. So let me go ahead and switch over there to this is the page for the Rule 5 draft on the Out of the Park manual online. You can, let's see, go back here. Help. So you can get there from right here. Takes you to the online manual, and there's a search function. It's actually a really good resource if you have questions about how something works in the game. I use it fairly frequently, especially when we're talking about things that don't always happen in Out of the Park the way they happen in real life. It has a lot more information than I would expect out of an official release by the game publisher. So the Rule 5 draft is basically, it's a way that that minor leaguers who are doing really well in the minors can make it to the majors rather than just be trapped behind a really solid player that's not going to be moved out of their position. Like if we had Adrian Beltre under contract, we're not moving him out of position. We're not moving someone over Nomar Mazara. So the idea behind it is these players, another team says, we think they're major league ready, so I'll take them. You have to keep them on your 25-man roster for the entire season. If you want to get them off the roster, you have to waive them. If they clear waivers, you can keep them, I believe, in Out of the Park, which is the same. You have to offer them back to their team, and if the team doesn't want them back, then you can waive them and try to keep them. I don't know where I was going with after that. So you can see right here, there's 3 things that you need to keep in mind that are not like the real world Rule 5 draft. So there is no fee to select a player. There is no minor league phase of the Rule 5, and we do not have to offer the player back to their original franchise. All we have to do is keep them on our 25-man roster or the disabled list for the entire season. They have to be playing for at least 90 games. Otherwise, and that can extend into the following season. If someone like tears a UCL in April, then once they come back, they have to go on back onto your 25-man roster. You can trade them, or you can trade for them, but then they have to stay on the next team's active roster as well. They can be waived, and if they are waived, then the claiming team has to keep them on their active roster. So here are the players who are eligible. Player is between 3 and 6 years of professional service time in the minor leagues. And the player was 19 years. Okay, here it is. I was going to say they have it worded really weirdly. So if you're drafting someone out of high school, they have to have been a pro for 4 years. If you're drafting or signing someone who's from college, 3 years. So between 3 and 6 years, 7 years if you draft them out of high school. If it's more than 6 years for a guy you get out of college, or 7 years for a high schooler, they actually become a minor league free agent. So that's why they're not eligible for it. So those are the players who are eligible, which, since Out of the Park gives us a nice handy little emblem here that says this player is eligible for the for the Rule 5 draft. It's not as important that you know exactly what players will qualify and what won't. You don't have to go through and search. You just have to look for the pound signs here to see who's eligible. So basically the idea is you can pick a player, or other teams can pick your players if they believe that they are ready for the major league level. So that can be kind of hard to determine sometimes if a player is going to be ready for the major league level. Luckily, we've already gone over in this series how to determine if a player is ready to be promoted. So we can look at a AAA player. We're mostly be looking at AAA players, but a lot of times players get picked out at AA and A ball as well. In real life, I wouldn't do it too much in Out of the Park, but it does happen in real life. and we'll be able to look at them and see, are they ready to make the jump to the major leagues. The other thing we want to keep in mind is we don't want to lose some of our players. So obviously, a player like this that I think has a really good potential going forward, don't necessarily want to lose him. But let's take a look at him, because I think he has a good potential, but he's not really doing that well. So I would be okay with losing Alvarez, because his walk numbers are just not going down. So even though I have him highlighted here as one of my top prospects, I don't know if he's ever actually going to pan out. So I'm not going to add him to the 40-man. Meanwhile, Rodriguez, he's not eligible, so I don't have to worry about that. So Alvarez, I just signed Alvarez back, I believe. I know I do want him as the potential utility player next season, so I am going to add him to the 40-man roster because I don't want to risk losing him. This is why you don't want to add players to your 40-man roster until you have to. If I didn't have space on my 40-man roster to add him, I would be having to take a player off, which is waiving and designating them for assignment. So that could lead you to waiving someone who you believe is, going to be really good someday, but they're not ready to play in the majors, and you have to designate them, waive them, and they don't have to be picked in the Rule 5 draft. At that point, they can just be picked up and added off and claimed off waivers and join the team. So let's take a look at Michael O'Neill. His AAA numbers look really good until you see he has 11 at bats, and he's that's like a double, a triple, and home run, and then 6 and 3 singles. Like, he's just had a really good streak there. But he is eligible for the Rule 5 draft. And here we are. So his BABIP at AA was solid, about 300, which is a little bit of a regression from the year before. His strikeouts went down. His walks went down a little bit. His ISO went down. His WOBA went down. So I don't think he's ready to make it to the majors. In addition, he doesn't look like he's going to be that, he has the room to be that good of a player. He is a little bit of a power hitter, pretty good defensively. So, having him, if he were to stay in the organization, that'd be nice. But I don't know if it's worth putting him on the 40-man roster for that. So you can see here some of these players you just look at and you go, I'd be okay with losing that. So Scott Heineman, looks like decent numbers over a decent sample size there at AAA last year. Had a pretty good BABIP, decent ISO, good WOBA. Strikeout rate was pretty high, but it was his first trip through. Walk rate was down, but that's from his repeat at AA, so that's not terrible. Why is he's upset with his role on the team? Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to repeat AAA. We need to leave room to add players later. So I'm not going to add him now. I'm going to look through AA. I doubt too many of these players get picked. He hasn't even made his debut at AA, so I'm not going to add him to the 40-man. I don't think he's ready if he's giving up that many walks still. Let's see. Pretty good sample size for a reliever here. He's not eligible. Never mind. I'm not going to add him to the 40-man yet then. I was going to say, if he's eligible, I was going to add him to the 40-man. So Williams, moved up last year. Spent the entire year at AA. His walks went up a little bit, but his strikeouts also went up, and his home runs are still really solid. So, yeah, he could be a pretty solid player here in the not-too-distant future. We may add him later on. I'm going to see if there's anyone else I want to add more. So, let's see. He's pretty far away. I don't think I'm too concerned about that. I'm almost never going to add a first baseman to the list because very rarely, he is a utility player, but very rarely our first baseman going to be taken in the Rule 5 draft. So, let's see. He had a fairly good season, but I don't think I'm going to bite the bullet and add him to the 40-man. A really good season. And I really don't want to lose him. But I'm going to take the risk on it because he didn't play at AA last year. So, this is the guy I said, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and add Scott Williams to the list. So, yeah. At this point, I'm just going to simulate to that. Just to get there. Personal message. Fans are unhappy. Players are unhappy, and fans are unhappy. So it says the fan interest almost crashed. Go to the front office. Fan interest went from 89 to 84. I mean, it's not great, but players are unhappy that he leaves, right? But and he went to Kansas City. That's an odd move. But we do get a supplemental pick in the first round. So that's, wow, that is absolutely not how it would work in real life. In real life, we would not get a first round pick for that. We would get a supplemental right after the second round because it's not over $50 million. So, yeah, take advantage of that. If you think you have an older player who's going to sign a contract or won't sign your qualifying offer, that's you can get away with highway robbery on that. Pollock goes to LA, Ashley goes to the Dodgers, so that's realistic. Trade proposal from HIPAA. He goes to Houston for how many years? 8 years, $211 million. Alex Smith, Bubba Thompson. Set to not interested in Alex Smith because they have offered him to me twice now, very quickly, with very rapid succession. Donaldson to the Yankees. So these players are signing pretty quickly here. Let's see. New York Yankees signed Mike Ford. Oh, not bad. Tommy Joseph and Palmquist. There is a lot to like about this trade. He's eligible for the Rule 5 draft, so we'd have to put him on the 40-man right away. I am going to come back to that after the Rule 5 draft. Because I want to do the Rule 5 draft tonight. It does not take that long. Corbin does favor us. Okay. Took a long time for that. And the catcher also favors us. So I should really look and see what other catchers are out there after this, though. Matt Andrees for Tavares. No. Let's see. The winner. The Rule 5 draft's on the 5th. Okay. We'll get a message. Yeah, like right here. He wants to. He got a better offer. So let's see. He wants $53 million. Set my 10s. Yeah. I have to do the commas or I won't be able to tell the difference. See the threes. Or the number of zeros, I won't get it right. So he wants 53. Let's do a vesting option on this. At 30 games started. Let's do 180 innings. Let's do a vesting option at 12 million. Because that gets it down a little bit. So, and since he does now have another shooter, I am going to be a little more aggressive in signing him. So, that's why you see me paying a little bit more, hoping to end this. No. Now he favors it again. Cool. No. Wait, he hasn't played in the majors? No. Okay. 05 draft. Let's get to the 05. Corbin. My God. Contract. Oh, it's 12 million. 12 million a year. Okay. Vesting option. Let's do 14 million on that. Let's do that. And I think he favors my deal again. Yep. So he's got a lot of interest. Look. Favors offer. Okay. Finally, we get to do Rule 5. No. I might consider one of them for him. Okay, here's a pretty good summary. 270 slots in the expanded roster, so you have to have an open spot on the 40-man. 3 more years of experience. 18 additional year. Each selected player must be on the roster for a year, and they must... Okay. So, let's go into the Rule 5 draft. So, I doubt we take anyone, because again, we have a really full position player side, and so we're basically only going to be looking at pitchers. So we don't draft first. I'm just setting it to only pitchers. That's the only thing I'm going to consider at this point. Until next pick by Texas. So let's see. So now it's our pick. And you don't have to make a selection. I think I do need to mention that. You don't have to make a selection. So let's see. Potential overall rating. Okay, Aaron Bummer. Had a pretty good year with the White Sox. He's unprotected. .2, 4.2, 10.7. Did even better at AAA. Yeah, I would consider that. So he's at AA. So he's not quite there. AAA closer, Cody Carroll. Walks is concerning that it might go back up in a larger sample size to the major league level, so I'm not really excited about that. I didn't realize he was eligible. I think it's too late to make him ineligible, and even if it isn't, I'm not gonna cheat and do that. Also one of my players. See, one of my players. See, had a really rocky year at the major league and AA or AAA level. Let's see, had a really good year at the major league level in fairly limited action though. Had a pretty bad year in more action at AA or AAA. And again, we are looking at stats rather than just looking at their actual numbers. So, control pitcher, finesse pitcher, definitely. Not a lot of upper end potential here, so I don't know if there's really a lot of beneficial he's gonna have a lot of long term benefit to us. He would be healthy by the beginning of the season. You do see he's injured, but it's only 3 more months, so we probably wouldn't have to worry about carrying him into the 2020 season as well. So that's why I looked at him even though he's injured. But I don't think he has the future potential to waste a pick on. We're looking at someone we can probably keep. We're going to want to keep more than just for next year. AAA numbers, 64 innings. Walk rate's a little high, but not the end of the world. Strikeout rate's pretty good. Home run rate's solid. I just don't think he's any better than Aaron Bummer, which is a great name. So, that's my guy. I wish I would put like the organization name on here, and maybe you can see that. But let's see. So, really pretty decent sample size. Not great, but decent enough. Had control problems last year. Marco Gonzalez. He'll be healthy by the beginning of the season. 2018. Pretty decent numbers at AAA. He's got major league experience. His major league numbers last year are terrible sample size, 8.2 innings. High leader, work ethic, and intelligence. See, Aaron Bummer doesn't bring that. Marco Gonzalez is a starter, and it's a lot harder to move things around if we have a starter. I think I'm just going to stick with Aaron Bummer, and I'm just going to make my pick. So, and I'm only going to make one pick, so I'm just going to complete draft. So, that's, once we get through all this, I want to see if we lost anyone. There's a decent chance we did. So, it doesn't look like we did. Normally you get a notification when you lose someone, so it doesn't look like we lost someone. So I'll go ahead and end the video here, because it's getting kind of long. We're already at 49 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys for watching this time. Next time we will continue going through, take a look at a couple of those trade proposals that we got, and we will finish out free agency and probably move through most of the rest of the offseason. I want to say the entire offseason, because I said that at the beginning of 2 episodes now, and it's not been true. So, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you guys want to see more. Leave a comment about if you have any questions, or if you think that we should be going for someone else, or we should be going in a different direction. Let me know. Let me know what you think about the differences in the Rule 5 draft between Out of the Park and Major League Baseball. Obviously, the differences are basically for how realistic it is to get into a video game, but there's some pretty significant differences there. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.